Welcome back, Webelos Scouts, for Activity 15, Project Family and Art Explosion. Hemp Hill, Camino Real, Blanco Vista Elementary, and all others are welcome.
For more fun activities at home, visit our YouTube channel, Sacred Springs Scout Reach. Please join me in the Scout Oath. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country and to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Please join me in the Scout law. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
Show the Cub Scout sign. Tell what it means. Make the sign with your right hand. Hold your arm straight up. The two raised fingers stand for the Scout Oath and the Scout Law. The fingers look like the sharp ears of the wolf, ready to listen to a Kela. Remember that a Kela means good leader to a Cub Scout. Your mother or father or guardian is a Kela. So is your Cub Master or your den leader. At school, your teacher is a Kela.
Say the Cub Scout motto. Tell what it means. The Cub Scout motto is do your best. A motto is a guiding principle and a rule for living. Do your best means trying your hardest, not just a little bit. Do your best all the time. Do your best in school and at home. Do your best when you play a game and help your team. Do your best as you work on your rank adventures. Project Family. Webelos Handbook, pages 500 to 515.
Requirement 1. Interview a grandparent, another family elder, or a family friend about what life was like when he or she was growing up. Share his or her story with another family member. A family is a group of two or more people who are related by birth, marriage, or adoption, and who live together for the most part. Families come in all shapes and sizes. What is common to all families is that the members take time to care for each other. You and your family are on an adventure together, an adventure that began a long time before you were born. Stories passed down from generation to generation tell about your family's adventure. From these stories, you can learn where your family came from, how you celebrate different traditions, and what pieces of your history you will want to pass on. Think about someone who cares about you, either a family member or someone close to your family. Arrange to meet with this person and interview him or her about what life was like before you were born. If possible, make a video or audio recording of the interview so you can play it back later. Afterwards, share what you learned with another family member. If the person has really interesting stories to tell, you could even invite him or her to tell those stories at a den meeting. My interview, person I interviewed, his or her relationship to me, sample questions. Before your interview, make a list of questions to ask. Here are some to get you started. Your parent may be able to suggest other questions based on whom you are interviewing. When were you born? Where did you grow up? What activities did you do when you were my age? Tell me about a happy memory from your childhood. Was there a time when something was difficult for you? Can you tell me about it? What family traditions were important to you? What was your family's favorite food? Is there a recipe for it? How was childhood different then compared with now?
Requirement 2. Talk with members of your family about your family name, history, traditions, and culture. Create a family tree of 3 generations, or make a poster or web page that shows the origins of your ancestors, or choose a special celebration or holiday that your family participates in and create either a poster, picture, or photo slideshow of it. Share this project with your den or family. Have you ever wondered where your name came from or why your family celebrates certain occasions? For this requirement, you will do some exploring to find out about your roots and heritage. Have an adult in your family help you find family pictures, record family stories from relatives, and visit libraries, cemeteries, websites, and other places where family history might be found. Be your family's historian by interviewing other family members. Ask them what their jobs are or were, and a few important facts about them. Ask for or take pictures of the people you interview. Then put together what you learned to tell your family story. Create a family tree of 3 generations, you and any brothers or sisters, your parents and your grandparents, or make a poster or web page that tells about your family members. Another way to find out about your family's culture is through the way you celebrate special occasions. Choose a special holiday or event that your family participates in and demonstrate what makes it special for your family. Find out if your family's celebration is something that many other people celebrate, or if it is a tradition that belongs to just your family. I created a date I shared with my den or family. For the family tree, you start with your name and any brothers or sisters that you might have. Then you branch up to your mother and your father and their name. Then on your mother's side, you have your grandmother and your grandfather. Also on your mother's side, you have your great grandmother and your great grandfather on her mother's side. And on your grandfather's side, you have your great grandmother and great grandfather. Then on your dad's side, you have your grandmother and grandfather. On that grandmother's side, you have your great grandmother and your great grandfather. And on that grandfather's side, you have your great grandmother and great grandfather. On his father's side,
Requirement 6. With the help of an adult, inspect your home and its surroundings. Make a list of hazards or security problems you find. Correct one problem you found and tell what you did. It is important to make your home safe. Many accidents occur because of hazards nobody noticed. By inspecting your home and its surroundings, you can find such problems and prevent accidents. Use the checklist shown here to inspect your home. Make a list of any problems you found and what you did to fix them. You can do some things to help make your home as safe as possible. Have step ladders or step stools available for reaching items that are stored up high. If there are young children in the home, install safety plugs in electrical sockets and safety latches on cabinets. Install no-skid mats in tubs and showers and on bathroom floors. Make sure everyone in the family knows how to shut off the water in the home. Make sure everyone in the family knows what to do if they smell gas. Make sure the family has a fire escape plan and practices it regularly. Make sure all purses and briefcases, including those belonging to visitors, are placed out of children's reach. Use the back burners on the stove and turn pot handles toward the wall. Dry your hands before touching electrical switches or using electrical outlets. Never use electrical devices in or near the bathtub or shower. Home safety checklist. Date of inspection. Place. Living room. Hazard. Toys on floor, tripping hazard. Status action taken. Furniture blocking easy passage. Electrical cords under rugs. Worn cords can cause shock or fire. Curtain cords dangling can strangle small children. Bedroom. Toys on floor, tripping hazard. Bunk beds missing rails. Fall hazard. Smoke detector missing or not functioning. Carbon monoxide detector missing or not functioning. Kitchen. Matches accessible to small children. Knives accessible to small children. Cleaning fluids or other poisons exposed. Fire extinguisher missing or discharged. Smoke detector missing or not functioning.
Bathroom. Medicines accessible to small children. Hair dryers, radios, and other electrical devices near water source. Toilet lid open, drowning hazard. Water too hot, ask an adult to adjust the water heater. Stairways. Boxes, toys, and other items left on stairs, tripping hazard. Handrail loose, stair covering or tread loose, light bulb out. Safety gates at top and bottom are missing when small children are in the house. Work or storage area. Tools left out. Firearms left unsecured. Furnace area. Waste paper or rubbish near the furnace. Outside. Garbage cans not secured. Swimming or wading pool left uncovered. Dead trees or large overhead limbs not removed. Doors or window locks broken. Entryway not well lit. Requirement 7. Hold a family meeting to plan an exciting family activity. The activity could include a family reunion, a family night, a family outing. Requirement 8. Have your family event. Afterward, tell your parent or guardian about what you liked best about the event. A family meeting happens when the whole family takes time to talk about what is happening in their lives and to make plans and decisions together. Maybe your family talks about these things around the dinner table and it doesn't seem like a meeting at all. Or maybe you set a special time to talk about family business or make plans for the upcoming weekend. Hold a family meeting to plan a family activity that everyone can enjoy together. There are many ways a family can have fun. Some don't cost any money and are easy to plan. Others cost money and take a long time to get ready for. Your job is to think of some fun activities that your family can do together and then come up with a plan for your adventure.
Family event. Here are some ideas. A family reunion, a family game night or a family talent show, a night filled with music where you all enjoy your favorite songs to sing or listen to, a sport you can play together, a dinner you all participate in making and eating together, a picnic, hike, or camping trip, a trip to go fishing, swimming, bowling, or ice skating, a visit to a museum, zoo, or park. A scout is loyal to his family. Spending time with your family can help you appreciate the ways that your family is special. Our family meeting and event. We held our family meeting on date. We talked about our family adventure was. We did it on date. What I liked about our family event. What I would do differently next time. For our project, my family served lunch at a shelter for homeless families. Afterwards, I got to play games with some of the kids that were staying there. It made me feel really lucky to have a nice place to live.
Requirement 2. Create 2 self-portraits using 2 different techniques, such as drawing, painting, printmaking, sculpture, and computer illustration. A self-portrait is a reflection of you, not just what you look like in a mirror, but who you are, what you enjoy doing, what your favorite colors are, and how you think. For this requirement, think about some things that define you and then create self-portraits using 2 different techniques. Ask yourself, how was the process different for each technique? Which technique did you enjoy the most? What parts were challenging? What parts of yourself did you capture best in the portrait? Requirement 3, do 2 of the following. Requirement 3A, draw or paint an original picture outdoors using the art materials of your choice. Drawing and painting are common ways to create art. You may have started drawing as soon as you could hold a crayon. Picking your subject. To create a picture for this requirement, start by deciding what you want your picture to depict. Will it be your house, a scene in a nearby park, the playground at your school? Be sure not to pick something like a dog that won't sit still. Decide where your picture will begin and end. Hold your hands up to form a frame and move them around until you've enclosed just the parts of the scene you want to capture. Picking your materials. You can create your picture using several different materials: pencil, ink, black or other colors, crayon, marker, fine or broad-tipped, paint. With pencil and ink, a fairly smooth paper gives you clean lines. With crayons and markers, you can use either smooth or rougher textured paper for different effects. Paint is a little harder to use, but it lets you create a huge variety of effects. Here are some good choices for paint that cleans up with soap and water. Watercolor paint comes as a set in a box. To use watercolor, you dab it with a wet brush. Watercolor paint won't hide a color you've already painted, but it lets the white of the paper show through, adding light to the color. You can paint on drawing paper or special watercolor paper. Tempera paint, poster color, is liquid and dries quickly. It comes in small bottles or large squeeze bottles. Use it on manila paper or heavy white drawing paper. With tempera and acrylic paint, you can paint over areas you want to change. Acrylic paint comes in large squeeze bottles or in tubes. Use acrylic paint on canvas board or heavy paper. A scout is thrifty. Some art supplies can be expensive, so look for alternatives. Save more costly supplies for den projects where the costs can be shared. For painting, you will need some other supplies. Brushes. Inexpensive brushes with synthetic bristles will work for tempera and acrylic paint. For acrylic, you must have synthetic bristles because the paint will ruin natural hair bristles. Watercolor brushes are softer and camel hair is the least expensive. It's helpful to have 2 sizes of brushes, one for larger areas and one for detail. A mixing palette or tray. You can use a large plastic lid from a food container for tube acrylics. For tempera, school acrylics, and watercolor, which are runny, use several jar lids or buy an inexpensive plastic paint tray with wells for colors. A palette knife. You will need this flexible mixing tool if you are using tube acrylics. For other paints, mix colors with your brush. A sturdy water container. You will need to rinse paint from brushes before switching colors. Be sure to change the water often. A sponge. Use this to press excess water from your brush before dipping it in paint. Cleaning supplies. You'll need a rag for spills and soap and water to wash your brushes and other tools when you're done. Paint can be messy. Work at a table with a washable surface or cover the table with layers of newspaper to protect it. When you stop working, promptly wash your brushes and tools with soap and water. Store brushes with the bristles up in a jar, can, or mug.
Mixing paint. A fun thing about painting is mixing paints to create different colors. From just a few basic colors, you can create just about any color for your paintings. Look at the color wheel on this page. The primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. The secondary colors are orange, green, and violet. You can mix equal amounts of yellow and blue primary colors to make green. a secondary color. If you add more yellow, you will get yellow-green. If you add more blue, you will get blue-green. To make a color lighter, add a small amount of white. To make it darker, add a little black. If you're not sure about a color you've mixed, try it first on a piece of scrap paper. The more you paint, the more you'll learn about mixing colors. Art supply stores sell paints in many colors. After working with the primary colors, you may decide to buy a few other colors to see what they are like. Experiment. You can use a brush in many different ways. A wet brush makes a different pattern from a mostly dry brush. If you lay the brush flat, it will leave brush marks on your paper or canvas. If you touch just a tip to the paper, it will leave dots. You can also use tools other than brushes. A sponge dipped in paint adds texture. A string dragged through paint and pressed down on the paper or canvas leaves a line. Crumpled paper dipped in paint makes interesting patterns. You can even mix different materials. For example, you could use crayons for the lines of a drawing and then brush on watercolor paint in some areas.
Art explosion. Have fun mixing colors. Red, red-violet, violet, blue-violet, blue, blue-green, green, yellow-green, yellow, yellow-orange, orange, red-orange. Create your own picture. With your parents' permission, look online on how to draw. Learning to draw and paint is fun.
Requirement 3D. Create a freestanding sculpture or mobile using wood, metal, paper mache, or found or recycled objects. Sculptures and mobile are a fun way to put a lot of small objects together to make a work of art. You can use all sorts of objects you find around your house or make out of simple materials. Freestanding sculpture. To make a freestanding sculpture, start by collecting odds and ends you'd like to combine. These might include scrap items, things you saved, and things no one wants. Ideas include buttons, cloth, yarn, spools, craft sticks, toothpicks, bits of wood, string, plastic utensils, wire, chenille stems, old keys, bottle caps, egg cartons, pine cones, sticks, and seashells. Next, create a good base for your sculpture. This could be a flat piece of wood, a lump of clay that you mold into shape, or a piece of floral foam. If you use wood, have an adult help you drill holes the right size for any sticks or wires you want to use as the sculpture supports. Finally, start building. Experiment with the placement of objects. Then, when you like how they look, tie or glue them into place. Mobile. A mobile is a hanging sculpture. It has many lightweight objects hanging from arms that move in the slightest breeze. To make a mobile, think of a design, create the parts, and balance them as you put your mobile together. What will your mobile represent? It could be about your favorite sport. It could have butterflies or imaginary insects flying from it. It could show stars, planets, and spaceships. It could include curious shapes that no one can identify. You get to decide. Draw a simple plan so you know how many hanging objects to make. They can be different sizes, but you will need to hang them so the mobile is balanced. Create the object for your mobile out of cardboard, foil, thin wood, or any lightweight material. Make a hole in the top of each one and attach a piece of string, heavy thread, or thin flexible wire to it. To make sure you put the hole in the right place, which is called the balance point, first push a pin through the top of the object and hold the object by the pin so it can swing freely. If the object hangs crookedly, move the pin. Keep doing this until you find the balance point. Now, make the arms for your mobile. Put on safety glasses to protect your eyes. Using wire cutters, cut pieces of coat hanger wire, one per object. They can range from 12 to 24 inches in length. Straighten each piece by hammering it or pressing it into a vise. Then bend it into a smooth, gentle arc. With pliers, bend up about 1/2 inch from each end, making a right angle. Follow these steps to put your mobile together, starting from the bottom up. Hang an object on each end of one wire arm. Tie a thread or string to the center of the wire arm and slide it until the two objects balance. Make a loop at the other end of this thread. With flexible wire, make a small ring through this loop. Slip the ring you just made over the end of the second wire arm. Fasten another object to the other end of this second wire. Find the balance point of the second arm as you did for the first one by attaching a thread and sliding it. Again, make the thread loop at the other end of the thread and add a wire ring to it. Add the other wire arms and objects to the mobile. You may decide to move objects and rebalance arms. When you're happy with your mobile, bend the ends of the wire arms over to keep the objects in place. Hang the mobile from the ceiling using fishing line or string.
Use a computer illustration or painting program to create a work of art. Just about every computer comes with an illustration or painting program. You can also find drawing apps for smartphones and tablets. Most of these programs include tools that mimic what artists have been doing for thousands of years. You'll find a paintbrush tool to paint shapes, a paint bucket tool to fill a space with color, an eraser tool to undo mistakes. Some programs also include fun features, brushes that paint in patterns, or tools that can create rainbows of color. For this requirement, use a computer to create a work of art. You could start from scratch or modify a photo you've taken. The choice is yours. Join us next time for Activity 16, Administering First Aid and First Responders. If you are interested in joining a pack near you, visit beascout.scouting.org.